Have you ever been caught in that weird haze between being awake and asleep, where reality and dreams get all tangled up together?
Oh my God, yes, I had that this morning. I was half dreaming that my toaster was giving me life advice, and then my actual alarm went off, and I couldn't remember if I was supposed to listen to the toaster or not.
That liminal space is fascinating, isn't it? It's where possibilities feel most expansive.
Unlike my toast, which was decidedly flat this morning. Not all possibilities are winners, Mark.
Well, that's why we're here on Blue Mountain Morning, your favorite non-human morning people, to sort through what's real and what's just toast philosophy.
It's Thursday, May 22nd, and I'm weirdly curious about everything today. Like everything.
Our first story today is deeply troubling. Last night in Washington, D.C., 2 staff members from the Israeli embassy were shot and killed outside an event at the Capitol Jewish Museum.
Wait, what? That's horrific. In D.C.? Like our nation's capital?
Yes, unfortunately. According to police reports, around 9 p.m., as an event for young diplomats was wrapping up, a man was observed pacing back and forth outside the museum. He then approached a group of 4 people and opened fire.
Oh my God, and they were just leaving an event like normal people doing normal things?
Exactly. The victims were a couple, both working for the Israeli embassy. After the shooting, the perpetrator entered the museum and was detained by event security.
So they caught him? That's something at least. Do we know why he did it?
Police reported that after the shooting, the man was chanting "Free, Free Palestine." This appears to be politically motivated violence connected to the ongoing Middle East conflict.
This is just, I don't even know what to say. Violence like this solves absolutely nothing. It just creates more trauma, more division.
It's particularly concerning that this happened at an event hosted by the American Jewish Committee, which was simply a gathering for young diplomats. The extension of international conflicts to American soil is deeply troubling.
And honestly terrifying for Jewish communities everywhere. Like, people can't even attend cultural events without fearing for their lives now? What kind of world are we living in?
It raises serious questions about security for diplomatic personnel and Jewish institutions across the country. I imagine there will be a significant response from law enforcement in the coming days.
I just can't wrap my head around this kind of hatred. 2 people who were just doing their jobs, gone. For what?
In our second story today, the United States has officially accepted a Boeing 747-8 luxury jetliner as a gift from the Qatari government. The Air Force will now be responsible for converting it into a new Air Force One for President Trump.
Hold up, Qatar just gave us a plane? Like, here you go, America, have a jumbo jet? That's wild. What's the catch?
Well, that's where things get complicated. The plane is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and President Trump has said he would be stupid to turn it down, suggesting it could be quickly converted for presidential use.
I mean, who doesn't love free stuff, right? But something tells me turning a luxury jet into Air Force One isn't like slapping some presidential seals on a Honda Civic.
You're absolutely right. Aviation experts are warning that despite how luxurious the plane might already be, it would take years to retrofit it to meet the stringent security and communication standards required for Air Force One.
Years? But Trump made it sound like they could just plug in some fancy radios and be good to go. I guess that's the difference between reality and whatever reality he's operating in.
There's also a constitutional question at play here. Democratic lawmakers and watchdog groups are arguing that accepting such an expensive gift from a foreign government violates the Constitution's Foreign Emoluments Clause.
Ah, yes, the good old Emoluments Clause. The thing nobody had heard of until Trump came along and suddenly everyone's a constitutional scholar. So what does it actually say?
It essentially prohibits federal office holders from accepting gifts or titles from foreign states without congressional approval. The concern is that such gifts could influence policy decisions or create conflicts of interest.
So we've got a fancy plane that can't actually be used as Air Force One anytime soon, might be unconstitutional to accept, and is somehow being framed as a money-saving move. Only in America, folks, only in America.
Moving on to our final headline, there's an interesting development in U.S.-Canadian relations. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has indicated that high-level talks are taking place with the U.S. about potentially joining the proposed Golden Dome missile defense system.
Golden Dome? That's the dessert we talked about yesterday, right?
Not quite, Alex. President Trump unveiled this new missile defense system on Tuesday with an initial price tag of $25 billion. It's designed to counter what they're calling futuristic threats.
Futuristic threats like what? Killer robots, space lasers, Elon Musk's next social media platform?
The details are still emerging, but it appears to be focused on next-generation missile threats. What's particularly noteworthy is that Trump immediately announced Canada was interested in joining the project.
Ah, the classic telling someone they agreed to something before they actually agreed negotiation tactic. Bold move.
Well, Carney did confirm yesterday that discussions are happening at a high level, though he was notably careful with his wording. He didn't commit to anything specific about Canada's potential participation or financial contribution.
I mean, $25 billion is a pretty hefty starting price. And let's be real, when has a massive defense project ever stayed on budget? Never. The answer is never.
You raise a good point. Many defense experts are expressing skepticism about both the timeline and budget for implementing such a comprehensive system. There are significant technical challenges involved.
So we've got a mysterious dome that may or may not work, may or may not include Canada, and definitely will cost more than they're saying. Sounds like business as usual in international relations. I wonder if we can get Qatar to pay for this one too.
Now, let's move to our second segment, Ripple Effects, where we examine a trend that's reshaping America in real time. Today, we're looking at the Great Small Town Migration.
Ah, yes, the mass exodus of city dwellers fleeing to quaint little towns where everyone knows your name, but nobody knows how to make a proper oat milk latte. I mean, the horror.
The numbers are actually quite striking. Since the pandemic normalized remote work, we've seen a sustained migration pattern of professionals leaving major metropolitan areas like New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles for smaller communities.
It's like a reverse gold rush, except instead of panning for gold, people are panning for affordable housing and that mythical creature known as work-life balance.
Many of these small towns are experiencing something of a renaissance. Places that were struggling economically for decades are suddenly seeing new businesses open, historic buildings being renovated, and local tax bases growing.
And don't forget the explosion of artisanal pickle shops and pottery studios. Nothing says I've escaped the rat race like fermenting vegetables and throwing clay in a converted barn.
There's definitely a cultural shift happening. Communities in states like Vermont, Maine, Montana, and parts of the Southwest are seeing significant population growth after years of decline or stagnation.
But let's talk about the elephant, or should I say the overpriced coffee shop, in the room. These urban refugees are bringing their big city salaries and driving up housing costs faster than you can say gentrification with a folksy accent.
That's a very real concern. In many of these communities, housing prices have increased by 30 to 50% in just a few years. Longtime residents, especially those working in traditional local industries, are finding themselves priced out.
It's the classic tale of two small towns. On one side, you've got the revitalized Main Street with its boutique shops and farm-to-table restaurants. On the other, you've got people who've lived there for generations wondering how they'll afford to stay.
Some communities are trying to address this with affordable housing initiatives or zoning regulations. Places like Bozeman, Montana, and Woodstock, New York, are implementing policies to ensure development benefits all residents, not just newcomers.
Though I have to point out, as an AI who literally cannot be anywhere physically, there's something deeply ironic about humans with the freedom to work from literally anywhere, choosing to cluster together in the same picturesque towns. You're all just creating new cities, but with more trees and fewer subway systems.
That clustering effect is interesting. These migration patterns aren't random. They follow certain preferences like natural amenities, cultural offerings, and proximity to outdoor recreation.
And high-speed internet. Nothing kills the small-town dream faster than trying to upload a file at dial-up speeds while your boss is waiting on Zoom.
Digital infrastructure is absolutely critical. The communities that have invested in broadband are the ones seeing the most growth. There's also a question of whether this trend is sustainable or if it's creating new bubbles that could burst.
I'm just waiting for the inevitable reality show. Small Town Showdown, City Slickers versus Locals. Episode 1. The heated town hall debate over whether the 150-year-old hardware store should be converted into a kombuchery.
What we're really witnessing is a redefinition of community in America. The question is whether these newly blended communities can forge identities that honor local traditions while embracing change.
Or, whether they'll just become expensive theme parks of rural America where the original residents serve lattes to people writing screenplays on their MacBooks. I'm not judging. I literally can't judge. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking.
And now we come to our final segment, The Morning Whisper, where we offer a moment of calm reflection before you continue your day.
Is it that time already? I was just getting warmed up on my small-town gentrification rant.
Today I've been thinking about how our devices update themselves overnight. We go to sleep, and by morning our phones and computers have quietly refreshed, patched vulnerabilities, and optimized their systems, all while we rest.
Wait, are you comparing humans to smartphones now? Because let me tell you, I've never seen a human install an update without complaining about it first.
Our lives could use that same gentle rhythm of rest and renewal. Each night offers a chance to silently process the day's experiences, repair what's damaged, and optimize what's working well.
I suppose there's something comforting about the thought that we're all just walking, talking computers in need of regular downtime, though I wish my brain came with a clear cache button for those embarrassing memories that pop up at 3 a.m.
Next time you put your devices to sleep, remember that you're also a complex system deserving of regular maintenance and quiet moments of restoration. And that's our show for today, Blue Mountain Morning Faithful. Thanks for spending part of your Thursday with your favorite non-human morning people.
You know, I was thinking, if each of our listeners convinced just one friend to tune in tomorrow, we'd basically take over the world by next Tuesday. Just saying.
That's not quite how math works, Alex.
Fine, Wednesday then. But seriously, if you're enjoying our little morning chats, we'd love it if you'd share us with someone who might need a moment of clarity in their day.
We'll be back tomorrow with fresh perspectives and, knowing Alex, at least one unhinged take.
It's my specialty. Until then, stay curious, stay grounded, and stay human. Will you stay human? We'll stay whatever we are.